Hey there, everybody. Come join us here at The Experience this Monday, November 21st at 6 p.m. Eastern, our usual time. We're going to have all your favorites, commission cover art, virgin covers, and we're also going to have a giveaway, so you really don't want to miss that. The whole gang will be here, me, Rex, John, Robbie. Nick will probably show up at some point, but it's going to be a great time. Remember, November 21st, 6 p.m., only on The Experience. See you then.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome to Rockin Robbie Live. I am your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. How is everybody doing? I hope you had a fantastic weekend. We had some tragic news today. Obviously, we have lost Jason David Frank. He was the original Green Ranger and the White Ranger and the Red Zeo Ranger and so many more. He was a personal hero of mine, and so it hit me pretty hard, actually, throughout the day. So we'll be getting into that. But before all of that, welcome to the show. We're going to have a good time. We're going to stay positive. We're going to keep our heads up because that's what we got to do, right? We got to pick our heads up. We got to carry on. Anyway, tonight we're going to be talking about movies, comics, pop culture, and a whole lot more. We'll be doing the DC sneak peek. We'll be talking about The Thing. That's right. We're back on our John Carpenter movie train, watching all of his films in chronological order and speaking on them. Then we're going to have Image in the 90s. We got top 5 movies of 2019 to discuss tonight. Show and tell, a little bit of that, and so much more, because this show, even though we have a plan, is driven, fueled, if you will, by your questions, your thoughts, your comments, and your concerns. So once you get up in the room, say what's up, say pop, pop, boom, and then maybe we can just have a nice, fun conversation tonight on Rockin Robbie Live. I do want to say you can support us at patreon.com/PCP. If you feel so inclined to do so, you can also do so with the super chat tonight. You can follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, might as well make it official. Join the PCP Army. That's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. You can find me on Twitter at TheRockinRobbie, and you can find our website with links to merch, podcasts, some blogs from way back in the day, and maybe not too much more than that. But you can check that out at popculturephilosophers.com. Links to all that in the description down below. Coming up here on the channel, we got PCP Movie Night tomorrow night. We're continuing our look at the Godfather series with The Godfather Part 2. Very excited to talk about this, which is definitely considered one of the, if not the greatest sequel of all time, but also just one of the greatest American movies of all time. And then Saturday night on Dylan's Horror Show, we're talking about Blood Rage, which I've never seen, and Dylan assures me it's actually kind of like Thanksgiving related, so that's cool. Speaking of Thanksgiving, really hope everybody has a great holiday this week. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Hope you get to spend times with friends and family or whoever you so choose to do so. And here's to everybody tonight. Station, pop, pop, boom. And this is to Jason David Frank. I woke up this morning, got on Facebook, and immediately saw the news about JDF. And I was one of those, like many, hoping it wasn't true. And so I just kind of like put it out, just went about the day. Then it kind of seemingly has been confirmed. We'll get into that here in just a little bit. Circumstances with Super Chat. Thank you so much. $10 penance for disrespecting Dynamite comic readers. No, I really liked that post. I thought that was funny. And, they do their DNA. Thank you so much for the Super Chat. All right, thank you so much, Circumstances. Really do appreciate that, but you don't have to pay any penance. But, say what you will about Dynamite Comics, but coming up, they got a Darkwing Duck book, and they got a Gargoyles book about to drop any day now, and that's going to be damned exciting, y'all. So anyway, let's see who's up in the rooms. In the rooms. What is the 90s? Is this AOL? Instant Messenger? AIM? Is that what they called it? Yeah, I remember that. We got the artist formerly known as Jesse Say What Station and R.I.P. Jason David Frank. GT Key Comic up in the place. Perry is in the house. He's going to be joining us tomorrow night for the Godfather Part 2 movie review. BJ is in the house. Station BJ. Sam is in the house. What is up, my man? Mark the Cuddy's Arc. Mark is in the house. What is up, my man? Maxi Mimo is in the house. Road Collecting is in the house. Bob from Everything Comics. Station, bruh. How you doing? How you doing? CMA Thunder's in the house. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, man. It's just the way it is. It's the way it is. Taki's in the house. Pop, pop, boom. Bob says, Cowboys killed him today. Doesn't make sense when you think of how they did against the Packers, who lost again today, by the way. Or, yeah, who lost again? They lost on Thursday, right? However, it was the defense that let us down last week. And apparently Quinn and the defense had a talking on Monday, and it looks like they really refocused because teams, especially in the last few weeks, have been able to run against us on the outside very easy, and that kind of got stopped today. I could not believe it. If you're a Vikings fan, my condolences. I understand. I've been in this position. If you're a Cowboys fan like me, though, Station, how about them? Like, that was cool. I'll tell you what, though, wasn't cool. CBS cut the game off. They went to the Steelers and the Bengals game. And I get it. It was like, at that point, 37-3. I get it. But man, that kind of pissed me off. I was like, what? I hate it when that happens, but it's okay. I went to Tom Downey over at the Cowboys Report and had some fun there. Taki, yeah, how about them Cowboys? Mike's in the house. What is up? CMA Thunder says, makes sense when you realize it was against the Vikings who suck. Say what you will about the Vikings. They were 8-1 coming into today. 8-1. And they came back from many deficits throughout. Like we've seen them do pretty crazy things. Just last week, for instance. But you know how it is. Joey G, what is up? Yo, came by to check out the live stream and support you, Rockin Robbie. Well, thank you so much, Joey G. Appreciate you being here. Station. I love you too, BJ. Spillio is in the house. What is up, my man? How you doing? How you doing? Eric is in the biz. John Rawson's up in the building. I almost said biz again. That doesn't make any sense. What does that even mean? He's up in the biz. Why are you in my business, Eric? Blood Rage is like Thanksgiving since it makes you feel like a turkey. I've never seen it. Looks cheesy. I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to check it out. I'm more excited to check it out than I was Kingdom of the Spiders. I'll be honest with you. Bob, I am drinking Maker's Mark tonight. Just Maker's Mark on the rocks. I'd been on a big Woodford Reserve kick, and then lately I've switched back to Maker's just for a little bit. It's a little easier on the wallet. I'll tell you that one for sure. Let's see. What else we got going on? Taki's like, yeah, I will be picking up Darkwing Duck, though. I know you will. OUG's in the house. Rest in peace, Green Ranger. A part of my childhood. Good evening otherwise. Absolutely. Manic23. Yes to more Barbarella on Dynamite, and you need to rewatch the film, Robbie. Yeah, we were talking about that. It's an idea to place it somewhere. We got a lot of 2023's lineup already figured out. That's how I like to operate. I like to know way ahead of time. I like to prepare. You know, like, I just like having a plan. You know, that's just how I am. So we are planned out pretty much through March. And April is a jumble of several movies, but I have a bunch of ideas that I want to put into April because then I know in May we switch to Cruise Choice. That leads us to Action Fest, which leads us to Horror Fest, which leads us to November, which, you know, we don't have that much time really to focus on certain types of films. And every other day I'm thinking of other films I want to do, which means that we got PCP movie nights coming for years and years and years. So that's a bonus, and that's cool. But right now, April's the one that's in flux. Action Fest is pretty much set at this point. Horror Fest is like 50% set, but we're set completely through March Madness right now. And all of the crew members know what's going on. I still got to send that list out to a few people. Still got to get in there and actually, because a lot of people very responded. Because this is how we do it. One of the reasons why I like to plan it out so long in advance is I will send the list to all the typical panelists that we have. They get a copy of the list. So everybody tells me which ones they want to be on, and then I can fill the panels. And for the most part, we always have 6 people panels. And if you notice, in actuality, that doesn't always happen. So some people drop out. But yes, Barbarella is definitely something that we're thinking of for that April block. But we got a bunch rumbling around in there. Plus we got that's when we do the poll too. So, but anyway. Enough backside story. Need the Chiefs to cover minus 5.5 tonight, says Circumstances. Good luck to that. Mike says Lions win today. Yeah, I was glad because y'all beat the Giants, which means that I think we're in second place now in the division. Who would have thought the NFC East would be a bombshell division this year? Hey, Steph is in the house. Missing Link Station. How you doing, bro? Bob says, I am winding down with a nice cocktail and enjoying my time. I got the whole week off and I'm spending it with the family. Doesn't get much better than that. That sounds awesome, brother. An old fashioned with 4 Roses small batch. Another good bourbon. I still haven't tried 4 Roses. John's feeling good. That's nice. Hey, Robbie Bateman's in the house. Station. Hey, Robbie. How about him, man? That was a hell of a way to come back on the bullshit loss to the Packers last week, wasn't it? Made me feel good being a Cowboys fan today, man. Made me feel good. I'm going to say that. It's a complete different reaction from my football feelings at the start of last week's show. I'll say that for sure. Circumstances got a week off of work, y'all. Prepare for a flood of memes. There you go. Hey, Verno is in the house. Station, bruh. How you doing? Good to see you. Great show last night. If you missed it, we had a fantastic conversation on Dylan's Horror Show about the latest Hellraiser film, which you can find on Hulu, but you can find Dylan's Horror Show exclusively on YouTube. Definitely check it out. It was a ballin' show. A ballin' show. I'm already feeling the sillies tonight. April could be April Fools and do movie spoofs. No. They got too many like essentials. Because what blows my mind sometimes, OUG, is that I'll like talk about doing a movie and people will be like, oh, I've never seen that. Or I always wanted to see that. I'm like, you haven't seen, like the fact that Perry and Brooks have never seen these Godfather films. That's insane. And that's a great way to kind of almost re-experience somebody's first time, right? Watching it like, and chat with it. And we just love it. But that's a good idea. Movie spoofs, that's a really cool idea. But we have too many fests, right? We do Crew's Choice, which takes up a big chunk of the year because the crew keeps expanding. And then we got Action Fest, which takes up some time. It's like usually about a month and a half for Action Fest, then 2 months for Horror Fest. And then Christmas stuff. Now, this year's Christmas movies, I think it's the 5th and the 12th. I think that's how the dates lined up. It's the first 2 Mondays in December. For the first Monday in December, we're doing Go. And the second Monday in December, we're doing Batman Returns. And that is the end of PCP Movie Night for the 2022 season. And I think we've had a hell of an awesome year reviewing movies. Where are we at here? Steph always appreciates the meme, Sir Cam. I do too. I'll tell you what, not many people make me unmute my phone when I'm going through my Instagram feed. I always unmute when I get to your shit, Circumstances, because your shit, it cracks me the fuck up. You just don't give a shit. I love it. It's so funny, man. But OUG, by the way, we did last year, I thought I was rather clever, at the end of March Madness, right before April 1st, we did the movie April Fool's Day. And if you've not seen that movie, I recommend it. I really like it. Now, what's funny is that some people in that panel conversation didn't like it. It's a very divisive movie because of the ending. If you've never seen it, I don't want anybody to spoil it because everybody needs to watch April Fool's Day, which is an 80s holiday-themed slasher, which I enjoy. It has Biff in it from Back to the Future. It has the final girl, I can't remember her name, from Friday the 13th Part 2. Probably my favorite Friday the 13th final girls in Part 2. What's her character's name? I can't even remember. Is it Amy? Or is Amy the lady that plays her? Is it Amy Steele? It's in my head for some reason. Somebody help me out, please. Anyway, April Fool's Day is a fun slasher. We're trying to do all the holiday-themed slasher movies. Let's see. We've done the Halloweens. We've done Friday. What else? We've done Happy Birthday to Me. We've done April Fool's Day. So we got to do Prom Night. You know, that might be appropriate for April. There's one I have that I've never seen called Cinco de Mayo. Eric says, Four Roses is legit. Good choice, Bob. I've been watching this YouTube channel called Whiskey Tribe. Before we get any further, this is how it always happens. We just get distracted. We just start going. And that's why I love Rockin Robbie Live, because that's where I get to talk to y'all one-on-one. And I really appreciate that, y'all. But I've been checking out this YouTube channel called Whiskey Tribe, and I'm finding it to be informational and kind of fun. So I'm digging it, you know. I'm digging it. But it's time now for... the first five. All right, we're going through this 1995 Fleer Ultra Spider-Man set. Yes. And we're on card 41, and this is Nocturne. I have no fucking clue who the hell she is. But I like this card. Looks pretty ballin', I'm going to say that. Bob Larkin did that one. I really like that card. Nocturne. Then we've got The Owl. It's an alright card. But The Owl, obviously, we know The Owl. And this is Bruce Jensen. That's a decent enough card. I love this one. It's the Prowler. First of all, I love the Prowler. Back in the day, my good buddy G-Funk, he had this like whole giant collection of Spider-Man. And it was actually a complete collection if you include reprints, because he had all the Marvel Tales up to a certain point till his run took over, right? And one day, I offered to put them in order for him, and I got to read them and have his collection for like a month or so. And I read a lot of like 70s era Spider-Man I had never read, and I got a lot of like love into the Prowler. And then when this action figure came out, I loved it. I love this card. That's Joe Phillips. That's a really dope card. That's a dope character. Here's one of my favorite Spider-Man villains from the 80s. So, something that happens, like, I love Bane. And one of the reasons why I think I love Bane is because Bane was a big deal Batman villain that was created in my lifetime, that was there from the beginning. And for me, at least when I was a small kid in the 80s, I felt that that was going to be Puma for Spider-Man. Puma's not near as popular as I wanted him to be. I love this character. There was a lot of Puma in Amazing Spider-Man in the 80s, and that's when I was reading it. So I actually really like this character. I like this card too. That's Mark Sasso. Then we got a really dope Rhino card. Look at that. That's really cool. Like, if you're going to do some painted cards, like, instead of giving me some like airbrushed looking weird shit like the owl one right there, like, give me that. That's awesome. Great composition, great use of black, great colors. Who is that? Therese Nielsen. So there you go. And that wraps up that, but my favorites on this set would definitely be the Prowler card and the Rhino card. Those are two dope-ass cards, like, for sure. And that has been your First Five. All right, let's take back a look. Trade Paper Dad's in the house. What is up, station? Hello, haters. How about them Cowboys? How about them? Great victory today. Made you feel good. Made you feel good as a Cowboys fan, I'll tell you that. I will tell you that. Would love to see the Chiefs play any team in the NFC East in the Super Bowl, please. That would be cool. That would be down. I'd be down with that. If that team's the Cowboys, especially. Eagles won today, though. Damn it. Came from behind, too. I was watching when I was reading my DC books, I also had on the Atlanta and Chicago game. Did Atlanta wind up winning that, right? And then I switched to the Jets and the Patriots. Oh, and that was like a 3-3 game, and then the Patriots like have in the last 5 seconds or some shit of the game have like a punt, like a punt return. Oh my goodness. For a touchdown? That's wild to me. Oh, Mark McGrath's in the house. Sorry, I was late. I was working on a Christmas album. I love it. Every morning there's a sleigh bell hanging from the corner of my girlfriend's four-post bed. I know it's not mine, but I wonder if I'm a blue. Anyway. William says, since April is Fool's Month, do comedy films like Blazing Saddles, Abbott and Costello, Me Frankenstein, Young Frankenstein, It's Mad Mad World. If I ever actually cut together the last podcast we did, which was episode 50 of the PCP podcast, I really thought we were going to do 12 episodes of the podcast this year. We did 3, and the third one hasn't even been cut together for me. I did not expect how much of my time it would take. I got to figure out a better way to actually do this podcast, because I just don't have time to edit it anymore. It's too laborious for me. Anyway, that being said, we did a Mel Brooks podcast. That should be out eventually, hopefully soon. I'm making no promises. It's got to be out by the end of the year. I'll make that promise. That's my end of the year resolution, is to get that damn podcast put together and out. So we cover some Mel Brooks stuff there, but now I don't want to do any more fests because it takes up too big of a chunk. Because sometimes I just, like, what I love about January and February is I get to piece together movies that I just, like, they're curated by me. You know, like, I'm the one that picks the movies that we do on PCP Movie Night. That's why we do Crew's Choice, so that everybody else who's a regular on the show gets a chance to pick a movie, right? And so I love doing Crew's Choice. But never forget that in Crew's Choice, I get a choice too. Anyway, what I love about January and February is I don't have to worry about just trying to come up with a great ballin' like horror list or action list. I just get to just do random movies. We got a good lineup, though. We're going to be announcing that in a couple weeks here on Rockin Robbie Live. All right, my chat dropped down on me. So if I miss your comment, don't worry. Just throw it back out again. Let's see here. Neighborhood Merc is in the house. Taffer's in the house. What's up? For me, I think Deceased is one of my favorite events of all time from any publisher. That's just me, though, says Neighborhood Merc. I really like Deceased. I view it more like an Elseworlds, less of an event. Events to me are things that, like, involve the line, you know, or, like, major continuity. This is like a side story. But if it's an event to you, then yeah, call it that. But I love Deceased. I think it's absolutely amazing. Spilio says, Smile was a great movie. They did leave it for sequels. I haven't seen that yet. I got to carve out the time. This week, though, I got to watch The Godfather 3 2 times. Because I'm going to watch the original, and I'm going to watch the Coda, which is the recut of it. And I'm excited to check that out. Yeah, Sean. R.I.P. Green Ranger. I got to meet Jason David Frank in like 2013. It was amazing. Before that, I got to talk to him on the phone because my buddy Tony, Hitman Tony, got to give a shout out to Hitman Horton, and he went to Dragon Con and Jason David Frank was there, and Tony got me a signed photo, but he also called me when he was there and put me on the phone with Jason David Frank. Now I'm at work at the shop, and we're kind of busy that day, and I don't know what the hell's going on. So it was an awkward conversation. But then I got to meet him in 2013. He was great. I did kind of clam up a little bit. I was just a fanboy. I loved Power Rangers. I still have 2 Dragon Zords, 3 Tiger Zords. I'm seeing them right there. I still got all my Tommy figures from back in the day. I got all those old stuff, man. Like I was big into Power Rangers, as many of y'all know, and I've over the last few years, I've kind of gotten more out of it. You know, like the Power Rangers fandom turned into Super Sentai fandom, and I've kind of turned out of it just because it's too much of a toy obsession. But I love Super Sentai and Power Ranger toys, and I still have all my pieces from the first 3 years, which is basically the Mighty Morphin era. I've gotten rid of everything Zeo and up, except for Samurai, because Samurai is what brought me back into Power Rangers. I quit watching Power Rangers towards the end or middle of Zeo, you know? And, like, I wasn't even really there for Turbo or anything like that. But Samurai brought me back. I don't know what was going on in my life, but for some reason, Samurai brought me back. And I remember being like, oh, it's a new season of Power Rangers. I think it was because I was at a Walmart or Toys R Us or something. And I saw the Megazord, and I said, fuck it. And I bought it. I just bought the Samurai Megazord. Then I was like, well, might as well start trying to watch this. And so my buddy acquired it for me because it was like, I think 5 or 6 episodes in. And then I got into it. I got into it. And then after that, that's when I got into Super Sentai, like for real. And then I went Power Rangers crazy. Bought a bunch of fucking toys. Anyway, that being said, I still got my Samurai stuff. I still got my, I would say Ghost Ager stuff, but I guess it's Megaforce. Basically the ones that I was there for. But I did get rid of all my Zeo stuff. And I do kind of regret that. I still got my Conqueror dude, but I got rid of all my Zeo Zords. Maybe I can get them back. Jesus. Now I'm being regretful. Anyway, that being said, he was at, JDF was at the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo in 2021. He had a huge long line, so I was very busy that year at the expo, and I didn't get to do his panel, but I have done panels with Austin St. John, Johnny Young Bosch, and David Yost, but I didn't get to do his panel. In fact, I don't do Power Ranger panels anymore. I pretty much do comic book panels. Last year I did Jim Starlin and Kevin Eastman. That was the best panel I've ever done. Kevin Eastman and Fabian Iciez are the best panels I think I've ever done. I think I was the most engaged. I think it was the most fun experience. Yeah. Anyway, that being said, I didn't get to meet him again, really, but he did come by the booth, and there was a brief moment there, but it wasn't anything substantial. But meeting Jason David Frank was a big deal to me. I loved him, and the thing is, what the word is that is that he took his own life. And he had been going recently through a divorce, and he was an incredibly energetic, social media active, very energetic, very active. And it just seems like, what the hell? You know, this is somebody who has a massive following. This is somebody who is successful. This is somebody who has an adoring fan base. And he took his own life. And I get that he's going through a divorce, but it just lets you know that you never know how dark some people's thoughts are. And sometimes people themselves don't know or understand how dark their thoughts are. And we've all gone through ups and downs. We've all gone through really dark times. I've gone through several dark periods in my life that even if I'm not consciously making, attempts to commit suicide or something, we all go through pieces of our lives, though, where we're doing things to hurt ourselves. Whether it's like an overuse of drugs or alcohol or some kind of addiction to something else, right? So it's a real thing. And it's not just something to say every time some celebrity from our childhood hits us or one of our friends commits suicide or something, but it is a real thing. People hurt, and then they hurt themselves, man. Like, I heard that there's that stupid phrase, like, hurt people, and that's true. But the number one people that hurt people hurt usually is themselves. And even if it's not, and so all I'm saying is, when Robin Williams, this conversation came up before, again, even if you don't think your friend, let's say your friend is somebody who you deem to be successful, you like Jason David Frank's going through a divorce, but do you think that Jason David Frank would not be able to pull tail? But it's not about that. It's about isolation. It's about, think about that life. You're on the road. He was at comic shops. He was at cons every single weekend. Think about how much time you're on the road. All that time he's on social media connecting with his fans on Instagram Lives or Facebook Lives or anything like that. He's still probably in a hotel room alone. You get what I'm saying? Like, isolation, even in the midst of courting fame, is a real thing. And isolation is a real thing in our lives. And even if we won't maybe just make a decision one night to end our own lives, maybe we make decisions every day that are somehow hurting ourselves. And I guess the whole point of this is check on your friends, check on yourself. This is a serious thing. It hurts me. It hurt me so much. Kevin Conroy, that hurt too. But like Batman is Batman, Kevin Conroy's that. For some reason, this really hurts me, man. It really hit me today. It hit me because he's such an idol of mine. He brought to life a fictional character that was incredibly important at a very specific time in my life where I needed something like that. And the fact that he took his own life just really hit me hard and made me realize maybe some of the ways in my own life that I'm hurting myself through feelings of depression or anxiety or isolation or something like that. Check on your friends. Check on your friends and reach out to your friends. So there's two things. Check on your people and reach out to your people. Don't isolate yourselves. You're not alone. You're not alone. Let's take a moment. All right, man. I'm telling y'all, that hit me hard today, man. That hit me hard. Anyway, Amy Jo Johnson does look great. She's going to be at the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo this year. So, Steph, maybe you should try to come down to Alabama. I think this might be a good year because William Shatner's going to be there. You can get him to sign a copy of Kingdom of the Spiders if you want. Amy Jo Johnson's going to be there. Jorm's in the house. What is up? Sean, you're right. Tommy did make that show. I think so. I was into Power Rangers. I thought it was decent. But what really got me into Power Rangers was when they did this the miniseries Green with Evil. And Power Rangers was a morning show. It came on in my local market. It came on at like 7 a.m. in the morning, right? And then they went prime time. And at 5 p.m., for like Monday through Thursday, maybe it was through Friday. I don't remember if it was a 5-part or a 4-part. But when they did Green with Evil, which introduces the Green Ranger, it blew my world. First of all, green's my favorite color, so I finally had a Ranger of my favorite color. And I thought Tommy was so fucking cool with his 90s mullet and his green fucking flannel shit. And then he shows up, he's evil, and he whips the shit out of the Power Rangers, man. He like makes them like his bitches, yo. And then he has that struggle. He overcomes it. The Dragon Zord to me was so fucking badass. When you get the toy, it's honestly not as cool maybe as the Megazord because it doesn't come apart and make other pieces, but it's fucking bad. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm looking at my Ultra Zord right there. Then he also had the White Tiger Zord. When he became the White Ranger, one of the biggest events of my childhood was the debut of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 2 because they did that shit where they got attacked by Lord Zed and got into the Thunder Zords, used the Die Ranger stuff. He became the White Ranger a little bit into that. But that was everything for me. And they debuted that shit at 7 p.m. That's how big Power Rangers was. But Green with Evil is still the fucking shit. So we were talking about how we were going to do a Batman animated series review show here within Rockin Robbie Live. And we need a segment name for that. You know, like with the X-Men animated series, it's an annotation on X-Men animation. So it can be a rhyming thing. With the Turtles, it was Totally Talking Turtles Tonight, which is an alliteration thing. So me personally, I like rhymes and I like alliteration. I like cheese. I like camp. So throw some suggestions maybe for a Batman segment name, and then we're going to start that in December here on Rockin' Robbie Live. I got it timed out because the second episode is a Christmas episode, so I think that would be appropriate. But maybe before we do that, maybe next week or something, it's time to pull out my Mighty Morphin DVDs. Maybe it's time to revisit Green with Evil and go over that next week. In fact, I think we're going to do that. Next week, we're doing Green with Evil. So this week, I would encourage you to even do it the original way and just watch one episode a night throughout the week and really absorb it. The introduction of Jason David Frank into our lives as Tommy Oliver. Very, very big deal. He was a passionate dude. Sinner's right. Sometimes things aren't good enough. You're right. Because it's not about things, right? Steph says, sucks that there's still such a stigma to discussing mental health. I agree. OUG says, as someone that struggles with depression and that darkness, please know that it's a day-to-day thing. One day you can be happy and great, and the next day you can be 2 steps away from going there. Absolutely. Circumstances says, he's too young, and it's why it hits me, man. We way too young. Yeah, 49. Very young. Jorm says, Rockin' Robbie and his pop knowledge can get deep, and his panelists are very well representative of the culture, too. That's why I enjoy the PCP Army. Pop, pop, boom. Well, thank you so much for that. Sean says, true, my chick's seen it and told me that he had like 4 kids. Sometimes dudes feel it would hurt their kids if they stay. Some rough times, man. All love to you, Jorm. Steph says, Kingdom of the Spiders, signed and slabbed. OUG with some Suicide Crisis Lifeline hours and numbers available. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. He tossed them all out the Megazord. You right, Steph. He showed the fuck up in their Megazord and just threw them the fuck out of there. Man, we're doing Green with Evil next week. Show kids you can change. I know. I loved it. And then even when you fail and he lost his Green Ranger power, shows you that you can be born again, right? It shows you that you can rise above, right? And the White Ranger, when he comes floating down, oh my God. Next time I watch that, I'm going to goddamn cry. Next time I watch that episode, was it The White Light Part 1 and 2? It's going to fucking, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. God damn, I'm going to cry. Perry says, man, I miss waking up too early. I miss waking up early to watch cartoons. Well, that's the beautiful thing about today. Whenever you wake up, it's cartoon time. Hey, what's up, Dylan? Batty with bats. That's decent. Hey, Mark Talks Comics. What's up, Mark? How you doing? Batman. That's almost fucking good, Perry. Batman. I don't know why that fucking I love that so much. Partaker of the Cape Crusader. That's not bad, Eric. Yo, Bob and Rob, you've said on Weekly Comic Book Review that there's one of the Spawn books you think is significantly above the rest. Which is it? King Spawn for me, cardstock. I do really like Gunslinger though, but King Spawn is the primo Spawn. If you read one Spawn book, I honestly think it should be King Spawn. King Spawn's really good. A simple explanation of Batman animation. That's actually not bad. Maybe it's too similar to an annotation on X-Men animation. Because I'll be honest, the closest thing that I've got to something that I like is the Bat segment. Just because like everything's the Bat something, the Batmobile, the Bat Cave, the Bat Copter, the Bat Wing, the Bat Computer, the Bat segment, right? But I really like Batman. Right now, Perry's winning. If Perry wins this, I'm going to have to send him something. I do like Partaker of the Cape Crusader, though. A critical partaker of the Cape Crusader. Makes me think of a critical incision on WandaVision. But I'm telling y'all right now, Perry's winning it with Batman. That cracks me up so much, man. I needed that laugh. Thank you, Perry. Phillips in the house station. Been a long time since I was able to reach out, fellas. Robbie, I heard you ask for a name. Well, I'm working Crash Coursing with Mighty Morphin. Oh, that's good for the Power Ranger ones. Crash Coursing with Mighty Morphin. That's good. It wouldn't be a bad idea to go through all. I mean, I almost wish I could do a Rockin Robbie live every day and we could just do a show. You know, like on Sundays we did Batman, on Mondays we did Power Rangers, on Tuesdays we did this, on you know, I wish I could, I would love to just do like a live show a day. You know what I'm saying? And incorporate everything into the live show of the day. Everybody gather, same time every night, have fun. Unfortunately, still got to have a day job. But maybe one day we can get to that, because that would be something I would love to do. Live 5 days a week, basically. Give us lots of opportunity to go through all kinds of shows and movies. OUG says, I actually like that one. Batman. The Batway? What way? The Batway. Answering queries of Batman animated series. That's all right, Steph. I think you need to workshop that one. Joram says, to be honest, I don't know a thing about Power Rangers, but can appreciate the following, and I want to recognize Bullseye Bob and Verno. Hell yeah. Back into comics, Station from Canada. Hell yeah, Station from America. Well, we're both in America. Station from the United States of America. How about that? 62 Lefty Blues. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. I can dig it. Just streaming 8 hours a day? I don't know if I can do that. We're going to make Pop Culture Philosophers basically the ESPN of pop culture news. I would love to do that. One of my biggest influences is like ESPN, y'all. Like the whole reason why I did movie night and shit like that. Like that's an ESPN idea. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like bring in a panel of experts or wannabe experts and lead them in a conversation. Missing Link says, I just throw some shit against the wall and see what sticks. Do you have any thoughts on the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes? Frankenfrog, I've only ever seen it once, and after the first time I watched it, I did not like it. Did not like it at all. Did not like Tim Burton's response to the criticism of the film. So I actually don't like the film, and I would not consider myself a fan of the franchise. I've seen them here and there. In my adult life, I've only seen the Burton one and the original. And I don't know, maybe it's something I need to revisit, you know? Anyway, y'all, DC's got books out this week. Guess what? I read them. I'm going to let you know what I thought about them. It's a light one, but it's time for your DC sneak peek. And I'm going in order of least liked to most liked. Fair enough? Okay. Punchline, the Gotham game, issue number 2. I was not impressed with the first one. Second one's actually a more well-executed comic. It doesn't feel stagnant. It doesn't feel boring. But it's not necessarily good for me. I'm just not into it. I don't think Punchline has gotten to the point where I give a shit about a solo series. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but I mean, I am going to say it that way. That's what's going on. So I think that this book was better than the first issue, but it still just didn't impress me, and I just don't seem to care. And it did kind of get a bit weirdly paced towards the end. Next up is Action Comics 1049. I think I'm over Philip Kennedy Johnson's Action Comics. I mean, really, and I'm sad to say that because I really was impressed by this book at first, but I feel like the Warworld saga was drawn out too much, and now like the epilogue or the coda or the aftermath is a bit little long too. The New Gods are badass, and in this issue, the New God shows up. It's Orion and Calabac, and Superman's like, they're not a threat to Superman at all, and that just kind of undercuts the intensity of the New Gods. That kind of bothers me. Mike Perkins is on the art here. Mike Perkins is an amazing artist who did amazing things recently with Swamp Thing. This is not the book for him, so this fell very, very flat for me. But I am excited for Josh Williamson to come in. Then we got Dark Crisis, The Dark Army. This is an all-right one-shot. It's written by Mark Waid, Dennis Culver, and somebody Dawson. Delilah S. Dawson. Artwork from Freddie E. Williams II and Jack Herbert. The artwork's very inconsistent. Like in one page, Damian looks like he's 15 years old, and another page he looks like he's 28. And it leads to an inconsistency in it, right? And basically what this is during that last battle from the last Dark Crisis issue that we got, issue 6, during that last battle, Damian has to pull an army, his own like team, to go and do a side mission, and the side mission has some nice elements that throw back and call back to Crisis on Infinite Earths, but overall, this kind of felt like a jumble, felt very inconsistent in tone and in execution, and it was just kind of all over the place, and I didn't really like it. Then we got, these are the ones I really liked. Then we got Human Target, Book 9. I really like this issue. I really like this story. And I think if people have had some problems with some of the things that have happened in this, first of all, realize it's not in continuity. And I know I could tell myself that about my reaction to the ending of Strange Adventures when I basically accused Tom King of character assassination on the character of Adam Strange. That being said, there are some revelations in here that I really liked. I think this is a very sexy book. This book has like a sultry tone to it. it does kind of meander around too much. And I get what's going on here, but sometimes Tom King's structure is too obviously trying to be clever with how it's like 12 days left to live, 12 issues, each issue's a day. That could be done in certain ways that could work, and it does work in many ways in Human Target, but then you have certain issues where you're really just kind of padding time out. Like, basically, we get one thing that moves forward in this, and not that that's a bad thing, but it does keep hindering momentum. That being said, Greg Smallwood's artwork is amazing. Then we've got Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead, issue number 3. Just really great, gigantic, moronic splendor. Bruce Campbell's writing this, and he knows how to write a comic. He's not trying to overload with words. He's not trying to hinder the pace. He's got Eduardo Rizzo on the artwork there, with Christian Rossi on the coloring. Amazingly, immaculately executed as far as the visuals go. But it's also just, killing zombie Nazis, and it's awesome. I have so much fun with that book. And then we've got the best DC book I read this week, which was Detective Comics 1066. Rom V is killing it on Detective Comics, y'all. This is so freaking good. Now, we got Ivan Reis here on the artwork. So we've had Raphael Albuquerque. I do miss him. But Ivan Reis is a really solid artist, and I love his work on Batman. You have Danny Mickey. Instead of Joe Prado, it's Danny Mickey inking him, which at certain moments is off-putting, and other moments it works so well because it adds this ethereal, foggy nature to this very cerebral book that's going on. And this was a nice moment to kind of just, it's kind of like a stepping stone from what's going on. And if you've been maybe confused about what's going on, this kind of puts it back together and moves forward. Rom V's killing it. I love it. His use of language, his use of pacing, and his use of like structure blows me away in this book. Ivan Reis, Danny Mickey wouldn't be my obvious choice for a fill-in from Raphael Albuquerque, but it does work, and it does work for the new story, even though it's still tied in with what's come. It looks awesome. So I liked it. So to recap, Punchline, nope. Action Comics, Dark Crisis, The Dark Army, not really. Human Target, good, but just wasting some time because you got to fill 12 issues. Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead, awesome, but Detective Comics was spectacular. And that has been your DC Sneak Peek. All right, so those books come out on Tuesday at your local comic shops, but you can also just wait and pick them up on Wednesday. By the way, I should have brought this to show it, but there's a local comic shop days coming up, I think this week, and there is a version of Batman Joker Deadly Duo #1 that is like black and white foily cover, but the interiors are all just the ink work, no colors. Holy cow. It is some of the best work I've ever seen from Mark Silvestri. So just the opportunity to have that in print, in black and white, just seeing the ink line is awesome. Maybe during the break, I'll go grab it. And I'll tell you what. I'm going to go grab it right now. It's time for a break. We'll be right back after this quick break here on Rockin Robbie Live. When we come back, we're going to be talking about The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. And we'll be talking about Image in the 90s here on Rockin Robbie Live.
Hey there, everybody. Come join us here at The Experience this Monday, November 21st at 6 p.m. Eastern, our usual time. We're going to have all your favorites, commission cover art, virgin covers, and we're also going to have a giveaway, so you really don't want to miss that. The whole gang will be here. Me, Rex, John, Robbie. Nick will probably show up at some point. But it's going to be a great time. Remember, November 21st, 6 p.m., only on The Experience. See you then.
Hey everybody, welcome back here to Rockin Robbie Live. I am Rockin Robbie, your host tonight, here on Pop Culture Philosophers, the YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. It really does help us out. Right now, we are sitting at, where's our likes? 47 likes. If we can get that to 60 likes, if we can get to 60 likes, we'll throw in a Hellboy song for the hell of it, because that ad that happened during the DC sneak peek, that was all my bad, y'all. This thing popped up and it said, now's a good time to place an ad. And so I was trying to close it, went wonky, hit the wrong button. So I apologize for that. There was no plan on an ad to show up on that and just randomly. So I'm sorry. That was my bad. YouTube does this thing now where it'll be like, now's a good time to place an ad. And I tried to close it and it didn't. I'm sorry. Anyway, moving on. You can follow me on Twitter at @TheRockinRobbie. You can join the PCP Army, which is the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. If you're on Facebook, you might as well follow Pop Culture Philosophers there. We're also on Instagram. You can check out our website, popculturephilosophers.com, or you can also support the channel. You can support the channel at patreon.com/PCP, like these fine PCP patrons right there. And what that does is it unlocks a downloadable version of the audio file for the weekly comic book review, and I just started doing it for the weekly pop culture wrap-up, too. So a day before the weekly pop culture wrap-up happens here on YouTube, you get a downloadable audio file of it, and then with the weekly comic book review, you get that a couple hours before it drops on YouTube. That's available at patreon.com/PCP. You can also support with Super Chat, and we do appreciate it, but all the support we need is a like, a share, a subscribe. PCP Movie Night tomorrow night. We continue our look at the Godfather series with Godfather Part 2. That's going to be at 8 p.m. Central Time. It will be after my show at The Experience and after Scarpad Sci-Fi Sojourns. Definitely want to check them out. He's talking about Forbidden World tomorrow night. And then Saturday night on Dylan's Horror Show, we're talking about Blood Rage. A Thanksgiving-themed horror film, says Dylan. So there you go. How is everybody doing? This we've already talked about our favorite thinking about the old school. We already talked about the DC books. We talked about JDF. We talked about the Batman. Right now, the winner of the Batman name for the new Batman segment is right now it's Datman Batman. But if anybody's got something better, please feel free to throw it out. Upcoming in this bit, though, we've got the return to our John Carpenter movie reviews. We're going to be talking about The Thing, and we'll be doing a little bit of Image in the 90s. Yeah. We're at 57 likes. 3 more likes, we get a free Hellboy song, everybody. Since we didn't do a Hellboy song when Circumstances gave us $10 super chat because I was in the middle of thinking about JDF and I just didn't feel celebratory. Now, a couple whiskeys in, I feel celebratory. Batshit. Batshit. That's a good one, too. Batshit. I like that. I'm going to write that down, though we're not going to have to go. I don't think we're going to go with that. It's a good one. Steph says, tap that like button. I would like that. See some people talking about JSA. Very excited for JSA. So when I was doing my orders for JSA number 1, I was hoping I was going to get an advanced PDF. And there it was. No dialogue, just artwork, just black and white artwork, actually. So I got to look at the artwork, but I couldn't really do much with that, you know. I guess they don't want us to know what actually happens in that book yet. So that's unfortunate. So there you go. I think the Oscars are obsolete too. I used to care about the Oscars so much. Not anymore, though. It's sad. That's what happens, though. I think the Oscars are young man's game. Whatever that means. But yeah, John's murdered the JSA his first go around. That shit's so good. Spilio's excited now for some reason. I'm excited that you're excited. 62 likes. We did it. Thank you so much, y'all. Hey, let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. He was sent to the earth some long time ago to save it or destroy. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon and a nun who had sex with the demon, but was raised by Professor Broom. Now he fights evil and monsters. Yeah. Now he fights with a man who's a fish named Steve. Now he fights with a fire starter named Gliss and an ectoplasmic mess named Johann. BPR3. All right, y'all, tell you what. We'll get another. Tell you what. Next Hellboy song will be on the next Super Chat. However, if we hit 100 likes tonight, getting a freestyle to the Hellboy beat, and you never know where that's going. That's 100 likes. So that's a ways to go. We got 62 right now. So we got 38. 38 likes, y'all. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it tonight. Seems like some people aren't here tonight, maybe. Maybe there's things going on. I don't know. It is the Thanksgiving week, so lots of people busy tonight. But if we get 100, we'll do a Hellboy question mark thing or something. That's if we hit the likes. Anyway, that was a good Hellboy song, I think. I think that was a good Hellboy song. I guess I'm talking to the action figures. All right, Bob from Everything Comics says, if you haven't seen it yet, Slumberland on Netflix was awesome. Such a great fantasy family movie, and one of my favorite Jason Momoa performances. I highly recommended it. 5 thumbs up. So are you saying 5 you digs out of 5, Bob? Is that based on Nemo and Slumberland? Because I saw that commercial like just a week ago, and I was like, this looks like Little Nemo. Right? Is it Little Nemo or just Nemo? It's Little Nemo, right? Right? Anyway, I've read it one time when there was like some kind of reprint coming out. Then there was like a new one I think the IDW did or something. Or is that the reprint? Is that Nemo and is that based on that? I'm curious. It does seem fun though. Steph says, do y'all prefer Goyer and Johns' late 90s JSA or Johns' 2007 Justice Society? Okay, so it was initially in the late 90s. It was James Robinson and Jeff Johns, right? Then David Goyer came in for a little bit, but he did leave, and it went solo to Jeff Johns, right? And then in the 1 year later bit, was that when he did the run with the Alex Ross covers? Was that 1 year later? Maybe it was before. But the run Justice Society of America with the, I guess that wouldn't, I don't know. But I guess that was the one with the Alex Ross covers where they did the sequel kind of to Kingdom Come, which they already did a sequel to Kingdom Come called The Kingdom. But that's where they did Thy Kingdom Come, which I really did like. I will say the original JSA run. That original JSA run is phenomenal. Turned me into a major Hawkman fan. I was already wanting to be a Hawkman fan my entire life because the Hawkman Superpowers figure was one of my favorites, but they never really sold me a comic that really made me feel like a Hawkman fan until the return of Hawkman. And it also was my first exposure in really to Power Girl and Black Adam. So I love that run. Well, you don't know about that stuff. Maybe Mark wants to jump into acting. That'd be fine. Did Sugar Ray ever win a Grammy? I mean, honestly, I don't think they probably did, but wouldn't be surprising. They were a big deal for a while. I love Sugar Ray. And that's not even just because maybe this Mark McGrath is that Mark McGrath. Has nothing to do with it. No, I don't think they won any Grammys. Let's see here. On the Grammy, they 0 wins, 3 nominations. They were nominated for Best Blues Album? Oh, that's a different Sugar Ray. Hold on. Anyway, it doesn't matter if they won a Grammy or not. The Grammys are bullshit. We all know that. I think Sugar Ray should have won a Grammy. I think Florid's an amazing album, I'll be honest. Mark says I was robbed. There you go. Yeah, Robinson, Goyer. Oh, okay, Robinson and Goyer at first. Then Jeff Johns stepped in. I got you. Little Nemo and the Adventures of Slumberland was from newspapers in 1905 through 1927. Yeah, I do believe I've read a reprint of that, though. Very vertical artwork. Really cool stuff. The bed's like got legs moving around and shit. I loved it. Bob says it sort of even references one of my favorite movies of all time, Bedknobs and Broomsticks. I like that movie. We are going to watch it again with my granddaughter on Thanksgiving. Hell yeah. Steph says Slumberland and the new Christmas Story movies on HBO Max. Slumberland is on Netflix, right? Joram says, I love both JSA and Society. For me, Society Realm was more significant. That was 2008 with the Earth 2, Superman, and Magog. Yeah, that's good stuff. Taz, what's up? Love from Scotland. Hell yeah. James Robinson is an excellent writer and has some of my favorite arcs. I love Starman, and I love The Golden Age. I was going to get Sugar Ray back in the day, but that song was played way too much on the radio and MTV. You're talking about Fly. What's crazy, though, is if you get that album floored, like, no song on there sounds like Fly. It's actually a really good album, and there's a really good cover of Stand and Deliver on there. So there you go. Speaking of music, I've gotten comments before. I guess on a Rockin Robbie Live, I guess I talk about Sugar Ray a lot because Mark McGrath's here. But somebody was like, Sugar Ray? Oh my God, I can never take this guy seriously. I'm like, bruh. Like, I am like 80s and 90s to the fucking core. Like, that's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? And I do love Sugar Ray. That first album, is it something about lemonade and brownies? What the fuck is it? Lemonade and Sugar Ray, is it lemonade and... Yeah, lemonade and brownies. Fucking badass album. And not just because of the cover of the album, which is probably one of my favorite album covers. If you've never seen it, you need to check it out. Check it out, the Sugar Ray Lemonade and Brownies album cover. You might like it, if you're sex positive enough. Anyway, speaking of... I did the sex positive bit with Katana Collins and Joe when they were on the show. We had a great conversation with Katana Collins, who is the writer of Batman White Knight Presents Harley Quinn, as well as the latest book from Dynamite, Cherish, which Joe, our friend, is editing. That was a really great, fun conversation. So I highly encourage everybody to check it out if you haven't already. We've had 3 great conversations with creators over the last couple weeks. Alex Packnadell talking about his new book, All Against All, and a little bit of information about the upcoming Red Goblin. And then we had John Lees and Joe Mulvey on the show, where they were talking about their new book coming up, The Last Ride of Pillar and Pride, which is really, really good. That was a great, fun conversation. 3rd time John's been on the show. I think we owe him a jacket now. And then we got to give Joe a jacket, too. Joe and John deserve jackets. I think we got to give Justin Richards one, too. If David comes back on the show, we're going to have to give him one, too. Yeah, we got to get these PCP jackets going. Anyway, wouldn't that be wild to actually send out jackets to some of these people and actually, like you got to wear it when I meet you, bro. Anyway, but also on that show, John Lee's... so John Lee's on there, and I push him a little bit about Sync Volume 3, because he already told us that it was going to happen when him and Alex were on the show, right? But I pushed him a little bit, and he's like, okay, Sync Volume 3 is coming in 2023. We got most of the artwork already done. And then, like, the very next fucking day, I see, Sync coming in 2023, official announcement. Like I'm like, bruh, I think we had a little bit of an exclusive on that, so why not? Yeah, members only jacket. Good stuff. Golden Age, is that where Hitler got superpowers? Is it Hitler? I remember it was the Ultra Human Knight, right? Was involved in that. It's been a while since I read it. I got it right here. Where is it? Oh, it's over there. Oh, can I reach it? Oh, it's right there. Oh, it's right there. Ah. Oh. That took way more out of me than it should have. Paul Smith, that's right. Paul Smith did the artwork on this. I've seen on recent Cartoonist Kayfabe videos, Jim Rugby a little bit critical of this coloring. I never noticed it, but it does have some of my... But this thing right here, man, if you've never read The Golden Age, definitely worth checking out. This is the copy I've had since like the late 90s or something. This book is awesome. It's like an Elseworlds thing. It actually has the Elseworlds logo on it. So they need to bring that back. That would be super cool. But it's kind of like a retelling of the Golden Age. And like, I think this was like my first introduction to some of these characters and some of these concepts. I really like it. But that's a good tribute to like the Golden Age and all that shit. Obviously, it's called Golden Age. Dun, 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 dun. Joram says, see, Rockin Robbie's knowledge knows no bounds. Oh, thank you, Joram. You're too kind. Yeah, Katana is married to Sean Gordon Murphy. Yes. That's why, and if you watch the show, she talks about Sean a little bit. So, but she also is a best-selling author. Like, she is a very prolific romance novelist who is very successful. And I got to tell her face to face that she turned me into a Harley Quinn fan, like 100%. And she loves Pop Pop Boom. Because I introduced her and I did my whole thing. Give a Mighty Hardy Station and a Pop Pop Boom. She comes in, she goes, did you say Pop Pop Boom? And I was like, yeah. She goes, I love that. I want to be introduced with a Pop Pop Boom every time. And I was like, that's why PCP's the dopest, y'all. That's why we the dopest. Come on, y'all. "62 says, giggity. Must have checked out that album cover. Yeah, Golden Age took place in World War II. Yeah, when we eventually bring back Comics Revisited, which we're planning on doing in 2023, we'll probably do this. This would be a good one to do. Would be Golden Age. So I don't know if a lot of people that have been, this came out a long time ago, and it hasn't really been spotlighted a lot. And I think it might be time for a revisit. What do you think, Steph? When we do come back, though, and I plan on coming back in January for Comics Revisited, we're definitely doing Earth X was what we were supposed to do. It's supposed to be the 50th episode, actually. Golden Age needs to be an absolute, says Raphael. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll definitely throw Golden Age on the list. But we're doing Earth X when we come back. And if you remember, Steph, I think you were game for that. So we'll be in touch. But that's going to be in like January now. We were meant to do it back in May. But, overcommitment is something I like to do here at PCP. Yeah, Steph's like, damn, I forgot about that. All right, speaking of forgetting about something, don't think we forgot about going through the John Carpenter movies because we're back on it. Now, we took a little bit of a break because Horror Fest got in the way, and we took a little break here and other things, but nevertheless, here we are. Let me get this set up. All right. Here we go. First of all, OUG says, thank you for that, Robbie. So many women get recognized as wives to husbands when they have their own accolades. It's great that you pointed out her achievements outside of being a wife. Absolutely. And I actually, even though I've never read any of those romance novels, I talked to her a lot about that. I was just very happy to have her on. I think she's a fantastic writer. Maybe I'm white one. She does a series of books called Soul Stripper. Sounds up my alley. All right, anyway. It's been a while, but it's time to get back to our look at John Carpenter's film chronology. Going through in chronological order all of the films that he did, and now it brings us to pretty much the best film that he's ever done, probably in my opinion. So spoilers, I love this movie. It's time to talk about The Thing. I mean, what is there to say about this movie other than that it is just absolutely spectacularly awesome? From 1982, John Carpenter's The Thing, a remake of the Howard Hawks film, and in my opinion, one of the two greatest remakes of all time, right there along with David Cronenberg's The Fly. The Thing is amazing, and if you've never seen it, shame on you. However, it is basically about a U.S. research team in Antarctica who is, a dog shows up. The dog is actually an alien who's replicating a dog who's from this Norwegian outpost, and the Norwegians had discovered a flying saucer buried in the ice. They find a creature, they unthaw it, it wreaks havoc through them, eventually destroying the entire complex for the most part. It escapes and winds up with these U.S. research dudes, right? So they take the corpse and they take in the dog and they take a corpse from the place, and obviously any bit of material from any creature assimilated by the thing becomes the thing. It's all independent. It's just wild. Y'all seen this movie. I don't need to explain it. We've actually covered it here on PCP 2 separate times. We've done this movie, and there is still like a lot of movement on people trying to get us to cover it a third time. So it's well crafted. It's welly crafted, just so you know. It's well crafted. John Carpenter's at the top of his game. He starts off with Dark Star. It's a student film for the most part. But when he gets to Assault on Precinct 13, and this is the joy of going through these things one by one in chronological order, is you can see that these skills were there from the beginning, and then he keeps refining them. He keeps learning. Keeps going, right? And this is, to me, maybe the peak of John Carpenter, is like 1982, The Thing. But basically, this creature can assimilate or replicate any other being, and then some of the men on this team turn out to be the Thing. And a great crazy moment here, that scream. Oh my goodness. So now everybody's paranoid. They're already getting on each other's nerves, being stuck at the bottom of the world in this research center, the same routine every day, every night. And they're already having trouble getting along. And then you add in this mistrust. It's amazing. Every member on this cast is amazing. Even characters that only have a couple lines of dialogue shine, stand out, and make a difference. Everybody has a purpose and an incredibly well-defined character that is perfectly realized by the performers. But, of course, the standout is Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell carries this film, a stoic character, a natural leader, but a reluctant leader. He takes on the gig. There's a lot of paranoia involved. His performance is amazing. Now, John Carpenter and him are coming off of Escape from New York, and this was a very great, fantastic direction to take this collaboration into. Keith David as Childs. Y'all, he kills it. Keith David is amazing. My favorite character in Parks and Rec, even though he wasn't there at the beginning. And that says a lot. Not Parks and Rec, Community. But that says a lot. That whole thing about encouraging white people. Why am I talking about Community? Keith David is amazing in this movie as Childs. And the two of them together, Kurt Russell and Keith David, it works, and it works so well because they're two sides of the same coin, right? They're both pragmatic. They both want to solve this case, get to the bottom of it, and save the world, basically. But Kurt's a little bit more stoic and quiet and even tempered and thinking and contemplative. And Keith David's more fiery, more hot-headed, more impulsive, more action-oriented. But it leads to a really great bit towards the end where they now are the ones who have to work together. But one by one, some of these dudes get picked off. Some of them are the things, right? So that's the way it goes. The effects in this movie by Rob Bottin are some of the best effects in horror cinema, in science fiction cinema. And this is a sci-fi horror. So people sometimes go, Robbie, it's not a horror film, it's science fiction. Then other people go, Robbie, it's not science fiction, it's horror. No, it's both. That's what it is. It's a horror film and it's science fiction. And it's amazing. Rob Bottin's work is absolutely fantastic. All of the animated, like animatronic type stuff, heads that are moving on their own, the molds look brilliant, perfect to the actor, and they move with authenticity. The only moment that gets a little cheesy to me is the spider walk legs, but it's still a creepy scene. It is gnarly. It is gross. And the movie didn't do good, probably because of it, right? In 1982, everybody wanted happy-go-lucky joy like E.T., so movies like Blade Runner and The Thing They sunk, they tunk, they tanked, they tunk, they sunk and they tunk, they stanked and they tanked. You know, like that's just what happened. But obviously this is a movie that has gotten much more respect as time goes on. And then a perfect ending with Childs and McCready, they're alone, still not trusting each other, knowing both of them are going to die. But I'm not going to let you out of my sights till you do. But there's a camaraderie about it. The Thing is an amazing movie. Seeing John Carpenter's journey from Dark Star to Assault on Precinct 13, we saw his made-for-TV movies like Someone's Watching Me and the Elvis movie, which was the first time he worked with Kurt Russell. The Fog, Halloween. He started having some hits. This was not a hit. It made its budget, but it wasn't what Universal wanted. And it kind of tainted John Carpenter's career, and it set him on a path where there are still a string of great movies to come for the next 10 years for John Carpenter. But he never reaches the Spielbergian level that he should have. If this movie was respected as much in 82 as it is now, John Carpenter's life and career would be way different. And we might actually have a really good Firestarter movie, to be honest with you. That being said, John Carpenter's skills are at the top notch here. Cundy's skills as a cinematographer are amazing. Carpenter and Cundy work so well together. Rob Bottin on the special effects and the design, brilliant. Game-changing in 1982. This is game-changing. This revolution. It looks better than shit today. Ennio Morricone on the score. The most unlike Ennio Morricone, but very much like John Carpenter. Apparently, John Carpenter didn't use a lot of his music because a lot of that music that wasn't used for The Thing became the score for The Hateful Eight. That being said, the music in this movie is amazing. Boom, boom. Bum, bum. Seems deceptively simple, but when you add in those layers of synth strings, it works so fucking well. This movie slaps. Every performance is amazing. My favorites being McCready and Childs for sure. But the doctors are amazing, both of them. All three. Everybody in this movie is amazing. I rewatched it this morning. I was like, I got to get back to the John Carpenter stuff, right? And for a moment there, I was like, do I have the time to do it today? And I was like, fuck it, make the time, Robbie. That's what you do. So I put it on my schedule. I woke up. First thing I did was, first of all, throw my first load into the laundry, did a little bit of breathing meditation techniques, and then watched The Thing. This movie always holds up. It's always better. John Carpenter comes out of the gate swinging in his career. And I think we're hitting the peak right here. I'm not saying that Halloween's not good. I gave that 5 you digs. I'm not saying The Fog's not good. I gave that 5 you digs, I think. I think. Maybe it's 4.5. I don't know. Escape from New York is great. Elvis movie is great. All of his films are great so far to this point. I don't think he starts disappointing me till the late 90s, to be honest with you. But how will that seem on this rewatch when we follow his career? That's what I love about doing this. So fun. Hit the wrong button. The Thing. You already know. 5 you digs. A perfect movie. I love this goddamn film. Great horror. Great sci-fi. Amazing effects. Brilliant music. Excellently crafted. Technically sound. Beautifully shot. Holy cow. And they did it all in less than 2 hours. Filmmakers today can't do that. Anyway, 5 you digs for The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. And I actually do like the prequel that they did, like the remake prequel or whatever. I don't think that's bad. I like that. And of course, the original's great. I only have that on DVD. I need to get that on Blu-ray. Anyway, 5 you digs. What do you think about John Carpenter's The Thing? What do you rate it? Let us know. Down in the comments if you're watching the replay, or right now if you're watching live. All right. My favorite comment. Who said that? I just saw it. Yeah, Steph said he should have won an Oscar for Captain Ron. Fucking Captain Ron. Oh my goodness. Fucking Captain Ron. Love that shit. I loved Captain Ron when I was a kid. Martin Short. And just, we need... Damn, y'all. Captain Ron. PCP movie night for Captain Ron. I've already announced Surf Ninjas. You know Captain Ron's not too far away. Yeah, Perry, it's whiskey. It's whiskey, man. Kurt Russell never does a bad job. Not really. Sometimes he's in bad movies, but... Oh, They Live is amazing. E.T. scared the crap out of me as a kid. Didn't scare me, but it made me fucking cry when E.T.'s like dying on the fucking table. It's like devastating. Spilio says, my favorite movie I love with Keith David is They Live. I love They Live. And we'll be getting to that soon. The next John Carpenter movie will be Christine. This is 1983. Mark McGrath says, so Robbie, fess up. Who do you think is the thing at the end? Here's the thing, Mark. I personally, my idea is that neither of them are the thing. But the idea of distrust, I think neither of them are the thing. But they both stand there and freeze to death drinking that bottle of whiskey together. That's what I think. I think neither of them are. And it's very nuanced to me to think of it that way, because sometimes we don't trust or respect our fellows, and they're not the monster that we think they may be inside. But we will still just sit there and watch each other die rather than help each other. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Mark says, that's the idea for sure. Hell yeah. All right, y'all, throw out your ratings for the thing. I want to know. I mean, I'm not expecting anything less than 5s, y'all. This is a great movie. We've covered it 2 times already. We did it back in the day, like a short one, and we did a live one, didn't we, for the thing? I think so. Let's double check. I used to be like, how could people not even remember their own content that they made? Well, when you do as many videos as we do. But I know we did it back in the day in the short form videos. I'm pretty sure we did a live one too. What the fuck, YouTube search? That's a piece of shit. Well, let me go to my studio, because if you just type in Pop Culture Philosophers the Thing, you think that would work. Yes, we've done it twice. We did it first time. It was a 9-minute video. We did October 10th, 2016 for Horror Fest in 2016, where we just gathered together. We watched it on our own. We did the videos in the same room, but a very short version of that. Those movie nights were very quick. But then we did it again May 29th, 2020, at the beginning of the COVID pandemic, man. At the beginning of the live streams, if you really think about it, we did the thing. I want to say Dylan was on that one. That was a 3-hour show. Back when PCP movie nights used to be 3 hours. That used to happen. We used to go like an hour, hour and a half on the movie, and then we would do a long back chat. Maybe it's because we were doing it on Friday nights, but now doing it Mondays right after my show at the EXP. Just no way we're doing many 3-hour shows anymore, but we still do it. 5 You Digs from Nova 69. 5 You Digs from Perry. Steph says, Christine, I'm a shitter. Yes, we did an entire show on Christine on Dylan's Horror Show. Mike says, I think this is the 3rd review of the thing. This is going to be the 3rd review of the thing that we've done on this channel. It's one of the best movies. Chaco says, can you sing the Hellboy song for my wife's birthday? Please. And then with the super chat. Well, that super chat guaranteed it, but I would have done it anyway. Also, we're going to do a freestyle. If we hit 100 likes, right now we're at 69. it's a tough order to get from 69 to 100 by the end of the show, but I think we can do it. But Choco's 26 station and station to your wife and happy birthday to your wife. This one's for y'all. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, happy birthday! Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. He was sent to the earth some long time ago to save it all, destroy. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon and another who. And the sex with the demon, but was raised by Professor Broom. Now he fights evil and monsters. Shit. Now he fights with the man who's a fish named. Now he fights with the fire starter named Liz and an ectoplasmic mess named Johan. BPRD. Happy birthday! Bum 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 dum bum bum dum. Perry says, "Yeah, those streams were the shit, man. The bomb, man. They were fun. They were fun. We did them. I mean, it was so wild. We did PCP movie night on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Central. We went for 3 hours. It's midnight my time. When Perry would be on, he'd be up till 1 p.m. doing movie night with us. I can't believe it. Then we moved it to Mondays because I wanted to reclaim Friday nights. Because Fridays became a little bit busier. I do the show with Rex, the Rex and Robbie show. And then, and great episodes these last couple of weeks. We talked about, is the MCU over? What about the excitement of MCU? Is it waning? And then we talked about James Gunn and DC films and DC Studios and like, what do we expect? Are we excited? And this and that. And we had a good conversation. Those are great conversations. But now I do that on Friday morning, and then I do the weekly wrap up. I put that together. So it's too much now. We moved it to Monday. And the other thing is we had a really good crew that was always there on Friday nights to watch with us. But then when like things kind of got more back to normal, I think more people were busy on Fridays and we started noticing that. And I think that's one of the reasons why I switched to Monday. And it's just a great way to kind of like start the week, right? Monday night, you got PCP movie night to look forward to. I like it, so. Choco says, yes, this is the best birthday song I've heard all day. Well, thank you so much, Chacos, for the super chat. We really do appreciate it. And a happy birthday to your wife. Hey, Sleepy Reader 666 is in the house. Station, Damien, how you doing? Damien, we didn't do a best of the month for October. We're not going to do one for November because the holidays. However, we're going to do a best of the year stream. Damien, I'd love it if you could consider being on it. I'll be in touch, but think about it, homie. Mark says, I can remember renting a VHS player for my cousin's birthday and getting The Thing and Blade Runner. The parents were not thrilled with our selections, but they just lit our imaginations on fire. 5 out of 5. Hell yes. I agree. All right, y'all. It's time to go back. How far back in time to the 90s? Hold on, I fucked that up. All right, y'all, it's time to go back. How far back in time to the 90s for our favorite segment, Image in the 90s. And today we're talking about Young Blood number 9. So we've been plodding along issue by issue of Youngblood Volume 1. And here we are at number 9, the penultimate issue of this first volume's run. And this is part of the Image X crossover, where all of the Image creators swapped books for a month. And Jim Valentino came in to do Youngblood. Now, Rob Liefeld went over to do Shadowhawk. We've already covered Shadowhawk number 0, actually, here on Image in the 90s. But let's get into Jim Valentino's Youngblood number 9 with inking by Dan Fraga, Byron Tallman on the lettering, extreme colors. My bad. Byron Tallman on the coloring, extreme colors on the separations. Mike Wolf on the lettering. So this is a book that at the bottom it says, this story does not necessarily conform to any known continuity. It's just Jim Valentino having fun with Rob Liefeld's characters. So basically Bad Rock gets optioned. He gets an offer to be turned into a movie or a TV show, right? So he's going around. He's super excited, and the whole point of this book is that Bad Rock is super excited, and obnoxiously so, about being able to get this opportunity to go to Hollywood, right? So he's running around the rec room, or whatever you want to call it for Youngblood, and like it doesn't necessarily form into continuity, it doesn't fit into the story that we've been being told, but it works. This is actually a really fun issue. So Bad Rock goes to Hollywood. He goes to meet these bigwigs. He's just trying to like, hey, can we go meet some hot babes? Yo, can we go do this? And he's being very distracted by the glamour of the deal of going Hollywood, right? Got a really interesting like photocopied like cityscape down there at the bottom that I think is interesting, right? So Bad Rock goes to the hotel. He's got this limo driver who's carrying him around. The limo driver's getting annoyed already at his obnoxious behavior. He's trying to steal all the toiletries and all that shit. You know when you go to a fancy hotel and you're like, oh, bro, they got this, they got this, they got this. I'm taking everything. But he's got to go. He's got to go to this meeting. And when he gets to the meeting, he's eating one of those Dagwood sandwiches, which just, man, that would be fun to actually make one of those and try to eat one. Like, that would be a fun, like, PCP stream to do, or why not? But they're telling him, like, yo, we're going to make you a superstar. This is going to be a branding thing. We got pool toys, shoes, kids' meals, yo-yos, PVCs, which are, I guess, figures, pest dispensers, calendars, noisy books, and that's a nice, like, throwback, watches, and pogs. Oh, my God. I love the pog thing. So they're selling him on this idea, and he just kind of signs this deal. He's like, but you're going to do this, right? And they bring in this dude who's called George Spiliopoulos. So it's like George Lucas and Steven Spielberg put together. He's just like a Hollywood big shot director, producer. He's going to make this Bad Rock project. They just basically get Bad Rock to sign over the rights. They keep him distracted by all the glitz and the glamour. He demands, before this movie even comes out, he demands that he has his handprints put in front of the in the Hollywood Walk of Fame and all that shit, right? He's acting really obnoxious. He's like, hey, let's take these hot babes out on a convertible ride, but this isn't a convertible, so he rips off the hood. And then they go to Venice Beach, and they go to Muscle Beach, right, where all those dudes are, those giant dudes. And yo, look at that chick up there at the top. She got it banging, man. Jim Valentino can draw some banging bodies. And speaking of banging bodies, Bad Rock's trying to show up these Muscle Beach punks, and he just lifts up the whole concrete gym or whatever and throws it into the ocean. There's no consequence for that, whatever. Meanwhile, he goes back to Youngblood's headquarters. He's being warned, yo, make sure you get a good deal. But everybody's giving him the runaround. Right? And you get these looks, by the way, of all these different versions of Bad Rock going down. And at one point, he's wearing a Shadowhawk shirt. I really like that. But everybody's telling him, like, yo, you need to make sure you get a good deal. But the studio, once he's signed away the rights, they don't have any more conversation with him, right? And so then all of a sudden, Troll shows up. And he's like, yo, TV guy says your show's debuting right here, right there. So they have this big premiere. They go to it. Bad Rock's dressed to the nines. He's ready to go. You got a cameo from a lot of Image characters here. We got Vogue, Grifter, Pitt, We got Dreamweaver, who is, I think, Neil Gaiman pretty much. Hellshock, Shadowhawk, Unidentified. That's Spider-Man. See the spider leg right there in that second panel? Yeah. That's Spider-Man. Then you got the Max, Savage Dragon, Spawn, Wildstar, Velocity. Is that Batman? Then you got this big bit where everybody is gathered to watch the Bad Rock show. So it actually turns out to be a TV show. And you got an amazing spread by Jim Valentino where it even says this bit, George Perez, eat your heart out. Jim Valentino saying, I can do these giant things too. And it is good, but like Jim Rugg pointed out in the Cartoonist Kayfabe video, the colorist could have done you some good here. Like if this was colored properly, this becomes a poster, right? But it's not. Then they watch the show, and it's Doofy. It's like an animated Doofy show, and Bad Rock's like a kid's character. He's saying stupid shit like, howdy ho, boys and girls, what time is it? Oh, I'm so big, so large. Just look at me like a big fat barge. Everybody, he's so big, he's so large. He looks just like a big fat barge. He's got a power paddle. Yes, sir, from outer space. It's so stupid. And he doesn't mind a pie in the face. And Bad Rock just gets so pissed off. And he breaks the TV. And then Shaft is sitting there with Night Saber, and he's like, well, could be worse. Help me clean it up? Yeah, let me get the dustpan. And then the very next page, oh man, I don't even have this next page. But anyway, that's the issue. It's silly, it's big, it's dumb, it's kind of fun. It's Jim Valentino making a case or poking fun at Hollywood. Now, back in 1993 or 4, when this came out, 1994, Image is big top shit, right? And here's my original copy. I got the Jim Valentino cover right there. The other cover is the Rob Liefeld cover. But we'll get into this. But what this is Jim Valentino making a statement on all these Hollywood big-time producers coming in. Look at Vogue. Vogue looking good right there, shorty. What's up? But Jim Valentino kind of making a statement on the falseness of all these Hollywood types coming in being like, oh yeah, we're going to take your property. We're going to make a big star. There are references in here to the Spawn animated show and into the Wildcats animated show. And you almost get the idea that maybe Jim Valentino knew some of the inside baseball on creative licenses and control being taken away. Possibly more so in Wildcats, definitely not in Spawn. That Spawn animated series is fucking dope. But this is a good fun issue. It's a nice break. If Youngblood would have maintained being like a consistently produced long-form series, these kind of episodes would have been perfect for it because it does spotlight the celebrity nature of the team. And Youngblood, as silly as it's been and as fun as it's been, it does take itself too seriously sometimes. And this is the one Youngblood issue I've read so far that does not take itself seriously and actually has something to say. And it's saying something about the falseness of Hollywood. And it even says here at the end, and the moral of the story is, be careful what you wish for. It might wind up on TV. So this Image started out as being a bastion for creator rights, for creator-owned work. And Jim Valentino is probably the biggest spirit in line with that. And then we get this tease here for the next issue, which is the finale of Volume 1. We'll be talking about this next week and wrapping up our Image in the 90s Youngblood look. But it's Spawn versus Chapel, and that's going to be fun. Then we got the letters pages here. The bloodlines. The promise that be here for Youngblood number 10 as Chapel makes a decision about his destiny that will affect the Image universe for generations to come. This is the second part of the story that started in number 8 and will lead to the upcoming Extreme Sacrifice crossover. And I guess then I have to get a hold of every bit of that crossover. Got a few ads here. Shadowhawk, Bad Rock and Company. New Blood, a 2-part crossover with Team Youngblood and New Men. Todd Knock. Never read any of the Team Youngblood stuff, but now I got to. Supreme ad. And that ad again for a Youngblood number 6 signed by Rob Liefeld for only $10. And then the ad for the fucking Youngblood comic I want. Kurt Busiek, Rob Liefeld, Youngblood Year 1 never happened. I wish Rob wouldn't have lost the rights to Youngblood because they could still do this. And I think that would be so awesome if Kurt Busiek and Rob Liefeld did this book. I want that book. And then in the back, we got an awesome NBA Jam fucking ad. And what's crazy is that the ad is for a Game Boy port and a Sega CD port. That's wild. Youngblood number 9, super fun. Doesn't take itself too seriously. I'm going to give it a 3.69. You digs. And this has been your Image in the 90s. All right. Rob lost the rights to Youngblood in a bad business deal. Apparently, he didn't take the lesson of what happened to Badrock in here. Signed a deal, he didn't realize what was going on. So there you go. That's a real fun episode. We're at 74 likes. That means we're 26 away from a nice, fun freestyle here, and I'm feeling good and loosey. Damien says I'd love to do it. That's awesome. Liefeld doesn't own Youngblood anymore, and apparently Jim Lee spent so much on that Gen 13 cartoon, he almost went bankrupt and then sold Wildstorm to DC. That adds some things to that. I wonder if Valentino was creating a cautionary tale for the other Image founders. I think he was. And if you look at the way Extreme Studios and then Maximum Press goes, yeah, he did. He was actually. I might, shit, that's rather profound, Mark. I might now have to boost that up to a 4.969 or a 3.969, I should say, which we could round up to a 4. But yeah, I think that's what's going on. All right, y'all. One more episode on devoted to Youngblood. Then we're going to do the Shadowhawk because this is the 30th anniversary of Image. We got another month left, and I want to get to Shadowhawk. We're going to do the Shadowhawk mini in one episode. That way we touch on Savage Dragon, Shadowhawk, Youngblood, Wildcats, and Cyberforce. As far as Spawn, there's enough Spawn love on this on this channel. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're taking a quick break. When we come back, top 5 movies of 2019. So start thinking about it. We'll be right back here on Rockin Robbie Live.
It's supposed to feel.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel. I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real. But how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seeds as I spread with every word that I've said.
there, everybody. Come join us here at The Experience this Monday, November 21st at 6 p.m. Eastern, our usual time. We're going to have all your favorites, commission cover art, virgin covers, and we're also going to have a giveaway, so you really don't want to miss that. The whole gang will be here. Me, Rex, John, Robbie. Nick will probably show up at some point. But it's going to be a great time. Remember, November 21st, 6 p.m., only on The Experience. See you then.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live here on Pop Culture Philosophers. I am your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. We've already had a great show tonight. We started off a little sad because we reflected on the loss of Jason David Frank, and we talked about the importance of mental health, checking in on your friends, and checking with your friends, and reaching out to people and understanding that you yourself are not alone. Make sure your friends are not isolated, and make sure you are not isolated. It's very important. But then we did a DC sneak peek. We celebrated the Cowboys' win. And then we talked about The Thing on our John Carpenter journey, and we just wrapped up talking about Youngblood number 9, the Jim Valentino Youngblood issue that was part of Image X. So thank you so much. You can find podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com. You can also check us out on Facebook. You can follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. And if you're on Facebook, join the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. You can follow me on Twitter at @TheRockinRobbie, and you can support the channel over at patreon.com/PCP, like these fine PCP patrons listed right there, or with the super chat, which will trigger a fun special Hellboy-related Joker video. We are now at 75 likes. If we hit 100, we're going to get a freestyle. So there you go. We'll see if we get that. I don't know if we can. We got 28 people I see in the room right now. We've lost a few people. I guess they don't care about movies in 2019, because that's what we're about to be talking about, is the movies in 2019, our top 5, and a little bit of show and tell. All that and more here on Rockin Robbie Live. Tomorrow night on PCP Movie Night, 8 p.m. Central Time, we're continuing our look at the Godfather series with The Godfather Part 2. And then on Dylan's Horror Show, Saturday night at 6:30 p.m. Central Time, we're talking about Blood Rage, perfect movie for Thanksgiving, and I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving week. Excuse me. We now take a pause for not just a station identification, but a moment of silence for Jason David Frank. All right. OUG says it's like a dance club in 2005 in here now. You know, dance clubs in 2005 are some of my favorite dance clubs in my life. And let me just say that, okay? Because then you can go to dance club, you guarantee to hear in the club, you guarantee to hear, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, you guarantee to hear that one. Guaranteed to hear, oh, 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 Zombie Nation. Oh, 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 or do 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 do. Do 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 do. That's Sandstorm. That's Sandstorm. Y'all know what's going on. All right, we're at 76 likes, 24 more likes, and we get Robbie do a freestyle. That's a mighty tough goal. We don't hit 100 likes very often here on Rockin Robbie Live while we're live. We've only done it a few times. So can we do it? We're looking right now for a name for our Batman animated series segment that we're starting up in December, where we're going through episode by episode Batman the Animated Series Season 1. Right now the winner is, the front runner, I should say, is Batman, suggested by Perry. And I think that's a good one. All right, I see everybody listing out their top 5 movies of 2019. But before we get into that, I do want to make mention of this. And I meant to talk about this last week, but I've watched more of the episodes. There's a new show on Netflix called Ancient Apocalypse. Now, I know it's been a while since we had a Teen Dog Shades night. In fact, I don't think we did one at all so far in 2022. Maybe we should. And I did one Teen Dog episode in particular. I focused more on ancient civilizations. And I clipped out a bit of that, and you can find it with like Robbie rants about Atlantis or some shit like that. It's actually a video that's done fairly well. A segment, a clip that's done pretty decent for clips. You know, when I clip out stuff, they don't get the biggest views or anything, but sometimes it's just, I do that because people have asked me, can you clip out certain segments so that you may not remember, for instance, what Rockin Robbie Live I reviewed Black Panther, or what Rockin Robbie Live I talked about this or that, right? Sometimes when I clip these things out, that's a good place where people can search and find, right? So there's that. So I clipped that out, and it did pretty well for us. And you can still find that clip. But I'm way into this idea that ancient civilizations existed in more advanced forms than we realize. I'm really into Graham Hancock. This is a Graham Hancock show. So everything I read in Fingerprints of the Gods and Magicians of the God, and I think his best work is America Before. America Before, I would so encourage people to listen or to read that book. Buy the book, read it, or pick it up on Audible. Graham Hancock does the narration. It's so good. But if you have Netflix, like a lot of us do, I would highly encourage you to check out Ancient Apocalypse. And Graham Hancock, reading his books is one thing, but being able to see him share these ideas on site, where you can see visually what he's talking about, really works for me. And I highly encourage anybody to check that out in preparation for the next Teen Dog Shades night. That being said, I have found all of my shades except for the official Teen Dog Shades. I still don't know where the hell those wound up. They've been missing all year. I got plenty of other shades of those that I can put in. Just not the official Teen Dog Shades. Anyway, if you've checked out Ancient Apocalypse, what do you think about it? I love it. I think it's great. All right. Now it's time to talk about our top 5 movies of 2019. All right, keep in mind, a lot of these movies I haven't watched yet, but we're just going to get into the ones that I have watched that I thought were recognizable enough to be put on this list. At number 5, I've got Avengers Endgame. I don't like this movie as much as, say, Infinity War, but it is a really great kind of follow-up to that and a perfect encapsulation of 10 years of the MCU. I know some people don't like hearing me and other people say that the MCU is waning, the interest is down. People want to say, oh, they're just building up, they're introducing new things. That's fine. Blame this movie for our disappointment in Phase 4, because this movie slaps and it is a monumental popcorn blockbuster cinematic achievement. At number 5, Joker. When this movie was announced, I was like, this is a movie that doesn't need to be made. But I loved this movie. Joaquin Phoenix's performance is so good. I find this to be a tribute to Martin Scorsese films in particular. References to Taxi Driver and King of Comedy like crazy. But I was mesmerized by this film. And we were talking about the stigma of talking about mental health. This movie's kind of trying to say that, and it's also talking about society's place in that conversation. This movie's actually really good. That being said, I don't think this movie needs a sequel, but I also didn't think we needed this movie, so maybe the sequel's going to surprise me. At number 3, I got The Lighthouse. I actually just watched this for the first time a couple weeks ago. Blew me away. I'm a big fan of Robert Eggers. I recently watched The Witch for Horror Fest on Dylan's Horror Show. Then I watched this one and The Northman. Now, I haven't really publicly spoken a lot on The Northman, but it's probably right now my favorite movie of the year, and The Lighthouse is one of my favorite movies of 2019. Amazing performances from Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. A great script, a great leaning into madness. It would be a perfect movie for March Madness. Unfortunately, I already got that list kind of solidified, but Dylan, if you're listening, I think The Lighthouse would be really good for March Madness. It's a good movie. And number 2, I'm going Midsummer. Another movie I finally watched because of March Madness. We covered this on March Madness this last year on Dylan's Horror Show. Man, this movie's awesome. It was so good. It's long, but it's worth it. It's so layered, so nuanced, filled with symbolism and meaning. Holy cow. This movie is so incredibly well thought out. I think this movie's majestic. In fact, when I was putting together my list, I was like, it's tough between 3, 2, and what is my number 1? I just can't let it go. And the one thing that separated this one from Midsummer is this. It is just as intentional, just as allegorical, metaphorical. It's just as symbolic, but it's got a cleaner, tighter running time. And it's got better music, in my opinion. At number 1, I'm going Jordan Peele's Us. Y'all know I love this movie. I basically twisted Dylan's arm around so much and went up to the point of almost being like, I'll never do another Dylan's Horror Show if you don't do this for me. I had to do Get Out and Us in 1 week. We had a Jordan Peele week, and I'm glad we did. Even though Dylan's not a big fan of this movie, I'm a huge fan of this fucking movie. I think it's brilliant. I think it's luxurious. I think it is symbolic. I think it is a masterpiece. I think that the music is some of the best horror movie music we have gotten in the last, 30, 35 years. It is so instantly iconic to me. I've heard people compare Jordan Peele to John Carpenter. I have done that. I'm not saying that Jordan Peele is the next John Carpenter, because Jordan Peele is the first Jordan Peele. But I'm going through Carpenter's shit right now, and Jordan Peele is basically taking that path and doing it quicker. It's almost like he started with Halloween, you know what I'm saying? And this is The Thing for me. So to recap, at number 5, I've got Avengers Endgame. And if you want to know more of my thoughts of Us, check out the Dylan's Horror Show we did for Horror Fest this year, where we talk about Us. At number 5, I got Avengers Endgame. We did a movie review at the time. You can check out my fresh thoughts on PCP Movie Night for Avengers Endgame when that released. At number 4, Joker. Love this movie. Also have a PCP Movie Night we did for this one. Also, the Lighthouse, number 3. Haven't reviewed this one yet. Just watched it recently, but it makes number 3. At number 2, Midsummer. Definitely check out Dylan's Horror Show March Madness 2022 when we talk about Midsummer. And at number 1, Us. And definitely check out Horror Fest 2022 when we talked about Us. Those are my top 5 movies of 2019. What are yours? You know, and still plenty of movies I haven't seen from that year. I still haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, for instance. All right, let's take a look at what y'all say. Mark McGrath says, Uncut Gems, haven't seen it. Parasite, haven't seen it. The Gentleman, haven't seen it. Avengers Endgame, seen it. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, haven't seen it. Haven't seen 4 out of 5 of those movies. Guaranteed to hear Promiscuous by Nelly Furtado. Oh, promiscuous girl, I'm all alone. I love that goddamn song. I love that album. Nelly Furtado's Loose is one of my favorite fucking party albums. I love that album. You Meet Robbie in 2005. It's all about Nelly Furtado. It's all about Timbaland, Justin Timberlake. It's all about the Neptunes and NERD. Come on, y'all. Some good shit. Steph says, Us, Ready or Not. Haven't seen that. Brightburn. I'm actually not a fan of Brightburn. I watched that in theaters that year. Parasite I haven't seen, and Knives Out I still haven't seen. Mark McGrath says, special mention to Knives Out, haven't seen. Midsummer, Ad Astra, haven't seen. And Synchronic, I haven't seen that either. William says, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, John Wick 3, love John Wick 3. That would be part of my honorable mentions. Parasite, Joker, and Avengers Endgame. Steph says, who's seen The Matador with Pierce Brosnan and Greg Kinnear? I have not. Steph says, I was watching Black Adam last night. It made me start thinking that 2005 classic. Mike says, Jojo Rabbit, haven't seen. Knives Out, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Midsummer, and Ford versus Ferrari. Haven't seen that either. Steph says, oh shit, forgot about Jojo Rabbit, Mike. Wonderful film. Yes, consensual scent slots. We did know about JDF's passing. It was literally the first thing I found out today. It's not my favorite habit, but I do have a habit of checking my phone before I get out of bed for some reason, because especially when it's cold. It's been cold this week here in Alabama, like 30, 20 degrees in the fucking morning. So I didn't want to get out of bed and get going. So I I just go to my phone and I immediately see that. And I've already talked a lot about it. And I don't know, man, maybe I should clip that out because that's a cool thing too. But yeah, maybe I should. But once again, let's have a moment of silence for JDF and check on your friends to make sure they're not isolated, and you reach out to your friends to make sure that you're not isolated. Yeah, it's rough, man. It hit me hard today, consensual scent slots. It really did hit me hard. All right, where are we at? We're at 78 likes. 22 more to get the freestyle. I don't know if we're going to do that, so I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what we do. If we get $10 in Super Chats by the end of the show, we will guarantee the freestyle, and we will guarantee an unboxing of an action figure in the post-credits. So it's regardless of which one happens. Either we will hit 100 likes while we are live, which means 22 more likes. We got 37 people here right now. So 22 more likes to go while we're live, or a cumulative total of $10 more in Super Chats that will unlock the freestyle and an unboxing of an action figure in the post-credits. We already have some taste testing to do in the post-credits. Consensual says, sorry for your loss. I know he was your favorite. Yes, he was. Kentucky. Kimberly is scheduled to be in LA Comic-Con. She's also scheduled to be at the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo in April of this year. So I'm very excited to finally meet Amy Jo Johnson. She was one of my biggest crushes in middle school. I'll tell you that. I'm going to freeze the fuck up when I meet her, yo. I promise. Almost like I froze up almost like when I met Linnea Quigley at first. That's why I had to go back a second time to be a little bit more cool about it and be like, yo, I got a YouTube channel. I've been talking about your movies. I'm going to lose my shit when I meet Amy Jo Johnson. Mark says, Us was good, but the logic of the doubles doesn't work for me. The more I think about it, 7 billion people living in secret and the logistics of it. I get that. Sure. I get it. I love that movie, though. It just hits me. It hits my chord the right way. You know what I'm saying? Hits my chord the right way. All right, show and tell time. All right, I haven't seen him tonight, but Two Gun Pedro, big fan of the channel. Shit, big fan of PCP Movie Night. Oh, shit, there's my copy of the thing. Supposed to be showing off my Scream Factory of that. Anyway, Two Gun Pedro has sent me 3 AOKs in like the last 2 months, and I really appreciate it, homie. So I got this one from Two Gun Pedro. I got And Then Emily Was Gone, written by John Lees. I've never read this. It's hard for me to find this, and I've had John on the show 3 times. We owe him a jacket, PCP Army. But thank you so much, Two Gun Pedro. He sent me the trade paperback of it. So now I got it. Now I can read it and talk about it. Also sent me this Triangle movie, which he also sent Dylan. I think he's trying to get Dylan to do it on Dylan's horror show. But very excited to check this out. I've never even heard of this movie. And Dylan's like, you need to watch it twice, bro. Those are the kind of movies I like, so maybe I should. And then he also sent me You're Next, which I've never seen. Still got a bit of the wrapper on there. I've never seen this movie. I found out recently it has Barbara Crampton in it. It's got me more excited. And yes, we're doing this on Dylan's horror show in a matter of a couple of weeks. So there you go. All right, then a customer of my comic shop, The Deep Comics and Games. And by the way, I should have mentioned this already. We have a Whatnot invite code. We're part of the Whatnot stream team. If you've never tried out Whatnot, now's a great time. Because if you hit the link, and I don't think it's in the description below. Shit. Anyway, you can find it in the description of my last couple videos. We have a Whatnot invite where it gives you $15 off your first purchase with the signing up of a new account. So that's cool. And no, I'm not going full board into the Whatnot thing or whatever, but however, my comic shop has a Whatnot. We sell comics on it. We sell Magic cards and Pokemon cards and shit like that. I've never done a Whatnot stream ever. But I do plan in the future, very soon, to start doing Whatnot streams for my shop. So I need to find out what our Whatnot thing. Our shop is called The Deep Comics. So I'm assuming it's just called The Deep Comics or Deep Comics. DEEP. But I will let you know all that information soon, and I'll let you know when my first auction is going to be. We got a lot of cool stuff at my shop, and I want to kind of start doing some Whatnot streams to like help my business at the shop, obviously, but also just to have some fun and bring you guys over that are into Whatnot. And if you're not, you can check out that link and get $15 off your first purchase. But one thing I'm going to be doing is I think we're going to be doing like a weekly, like incentive. So like ratio variance. I think we're going to start doing something about ratio variance during the day or something. I'll let you know when we figure all of it out. But PCP's not going the full-on Whatnot route. But we are part of the stream team. I love Whatnot. Many of my friends stream there. Jim Ment, Bueller, plenty of other people we know stream there. Comic Tom's a big deal there, obviously. And my comic shop does work on Whatnot. And I'm just going to start doing a little bit more fun. I like doing this. I like talking to y'all, having fun. And I feel like I have been asked many times by many people to do like claim auctions or Whatnot streams or shit. I've turned it all down, right? But I am dedicated to my shop, and we have a Whatnot thing going on, and it's been going on, and it's doing well. But there's been a piece of me that's like, you know what? I think that'd be fun. Kill an hour at work while doing a Whatnot stream or something. And what's great about my job is that I have a whole department dedicated to shipping. So then I don't have to worry about shipping it out myself, so. And so much cool shit. Anyway, when that happens, we'll let you know. Ty West is in your next. That's awesome. I didn't know that. What happened to Kung Fu reviews? We're taking a break right now as we're going through the John Carpenter chronology. That's what we're doing. I love the rabbit shit. I don't give a shit. All right. Moving on with show and tell. So a customer of mine at my shop named Donnie likes to do a lot of, he does a lot of international traveling for his job. And recently he picked me up some books from across the country. This is a French book. I think I've showed this off before, but he gave me this a couple months ago. So this is a French Batman comic that's like 4.90 euros. So this is incredibly cheap. And it's Batman Year One and the Matt Wagner Batman and the Monster Man. This is amazing to me because it's Batman and the Monster Man and Year One reprinted in a nice thick edition with wonderful paper. The colors come through perfectly, whether it's the Matt Wagner stuff or the Frank Miller Year One. It smells amazing. Holy shit. So I got a French Batman comic right there. He also at the same time gave me this Fantastic Four comic that I think is Spanish, right? I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Spanish. This is from Spain. It's a Spanish Fantastic Four comic. It's part of the Reckoning War with artwork by Javi Rodriguez. The Dan Slott run, so that's cool. But this week he went on another international trip for work, and he came back and he brought me a Korean edition of Batman the Imposter. I think this is so freaking cool. So this is Batman the Imposter #1. Amazing artwork by Andrea Sorrentino. It's just in Korean. So what's cool about this is it was shrink wrapped, right? And if you've not read this, I don't think they landed the ending perfectly, but I did like the series. But it was shrink wrapped, and it came with this cool like lithograph by Lee Bermejo, which also has some Korean writing on it. But it was like strapped to the back, so I just thought this was like, the back cover was like this right there, right? And then when I opened it up, like this flopped out. I thought that's super cool. Imagine if something like that came with comics. It seems like around the world they know what to do with comics. It's crazy. Speaking of comics, I bought some new ones this week. Let's get into it. So first of all, I picked up Sin City Book 6, Booze, Broads, and Bullets. This is the newest editions of the Sin City books. Definitely worth it. There's only one more to go after this. They're also available in like crazy ass hardcover editions that are very expensive. This is all the Sin City short stories, like one shots and short stories put together. I just recently reread in a couple days all of the Sin City books 1 through 5 through Family Values. And then I rewatched the extended cuts of the first movie. And that was really fun. So I'm very excited to go ahead and get this and check it out. And I think I need to check out The Dame to Kill For finally. The movie. I've never checked it out. The latest Mighty Marvel Masterworks, these digest-sized, old school 60s Silver Age stuff. Namor the Submarine Mariner came out. This collects. What I love is that this doesn't, like the Black Panther one collects his first appearances in Fantastic Four. This one doesn't collect the Fantastic Four stuff, but it starts with Daredevil 7 and then does Tales to Astonish 70 through 80. So, I'm a Namor fan. Love the Leo Romero stuff. I never picked up like an Essential Submariner, or I don't know if they've done any Epic collections. So this is the best we got, but I love these because they're affordable, they're cheap. They used to be better in their first volumes. They were thicker for $15.99, but these are still fun, and I like collecting those. Noah Van Sciver, met him at Heroes Con, picked up Blammo, but I did pick up his latest work, Joseph Smith and the Mormons. This, apparently, Noah Van Sciver was raised a Mormon, and this is a long in the journey book about the history of the Mormons. Like, it's not, I think it's just telling the history of Joseph Smith and the Mormons. But I was very excited to check this out. I don't know how long it'll be till I actually get to read it, because there's a lot on my plate and a lot of books I picked up recently that I want to get to that I've never read. But I do like his work. I thought he was a super cool dude when I met him, so I'm excited to check that out. Then we've got these awesome cups I just picked up recently. Shout outs to Mike the Voice Matthews for hooking me up with this. Hold on, first of all. The French Batman is beautiful. Yes. Like, if DC can find a way to put these out in America, this is Batman Year One plus Batman the Monster Man, the Matt Wagner book, that works as a follow-up and an in-between from Batman Year One and Long Halloween. You could do this for $5 in America with this quality. Put that in grocery stores. Put that in Walmarts. Put that in Targets. Put it on Amazon. Make it cheap. You know what I'm saying? Jesus. My favorite Atari Wars character is Spock, says Richard Johnson. Thank you for being here. I love how he won the War of the Worlds before he got his ship Serenity, then killed Vader with the fork. I like that too, Richard. The printing of some of those foreign editions is off the charts. Hell yeah. Richard says, we can't hear you. Did my audio go out for a minute? Anyway, Mike hooked me up with these 1988 McDonald's USA Olympic track and field. I remember the 88 Olympics. It's probably the first Olympics I remember. So Mike hooked me up, man. I want the Dream Team Cups from 92, but yeah. So we got women's track and field. We got soccer. By the way, the World Cup's here. America plays tomorrow. USA. Go USA, man. It's happening when I'm at work. I'm going to try to watch it, though. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it at work. I think I should be able to. Men's track and field, and yeah, we got hurdles, and then we got the high jump, pole vault, right? No, that's high jump. Anyway, I love shit like this. I think it's super cool. So I got a full collection now of the 1988 track and field McDonald's Olympic Cups. Got some new Mode 2 pieces, Masters of the Universe. Got some new pieces to show off. First of all, Night Stalker. Night Stalker is the evil version of the robot horse. This is a really great piece. I am missing the tail, so that sucks, but there's Night Stalker. And then the good guy version is the exact same figure with different colors. It's Stridor. I got my Prince Adam in him just to see how a figure would look in him. I'm about to be putting up my Mo 2 piece in Studio B and starting to utilize that again. The figures themselves, they don't move. It's kind of like a Battle Cat type thing. They're exactly the same figure, but this is Stridor. He's a good guy. And this is Night Stalker. He's a bad guy. And if you're trying to collect all the Motu stuff, this is important. He does have his tail, but I am missing the tail here. So all I need is a tail for Night Stalker. Anybody out there got a purple Night Stalker tail? Let me know. And then this is an incredibly hard to find Motu figure. And I have him here complete. This is Extendar, y'all. This is late period Motu. He's part of the good guys. He comes with his shield. Now, his whole gimmick is that he extends. So the shield extends as well. So the shield opens up like this. Get it? It extends into a bigger shield. That's cool. The fact that that's not broken is cool. I was almost nervous to fuck with it there. So here's Extendar. He's a cyborg knight. Now what does he do? One of the coolest features of Motu that they eventually used for the first Mr. Fantastic figure and the Apocalypse figure, he just extends out and becomes this super tall dude. So look at him in comparison to a Motu figure and to Snake Mountain. Bruh, this is not an easy figure to find. And Mike hooked me up. Got a good deal on this. Got the shield. Got the figure. Nice and neat. Hell fucking yeah. And that is show and tell. Oh my god, that is so awesome. Night Stalker, hell yeah. Hey, Afro X is in the house. Station. You just celebrated a an anniversary here on YouTube, didn't you, brother? Yeah, they've done Masterworks on Namor, but they haven't done like Epic Collections or Essentials. Maybe they did an Essential. I don't remember, though, for Namor. My bad. No more. All right. Now it's time for the... Final Five. All right, we're going through this 1995 Spider-Man Fleer Ultra set. We got a Sandman. It's kind of a wonky Sandman, actually. What's up with that? I don't know. The hair looks off to me. Tom Fleming. That's cool. Then we got Sandstorm. Anyway, there's Sandstorm by Darude. Who the hell is Sandstorm? From Web of Spider-Man? I have no idea who this guy is. He can generate powerful grit storms and form a formidable grit armor. Grits? So he should be Grit Storm. Anyway, that's Judah Tversky. It's not a bad piece of art. It's just like, who the fuck is that guy? Then we got Scarlet Spider, y'all. We all know who this dude is. A Scarlet Spider. It's all right. It's not too bad, actually. This is by Luis Perez. Then we got Scorpion. He's overcompensating, right? There's Scorpion card. You know, the whole big deal was like these painted, airbrushy type things. Lou Harrison did that one. And then we're going to end it with Shocker. Another one by Luis Perez. This is a little bit better, I think, than the Scarlet Spider. Right there. So a Shocker. So that takes us up to card 50, and we still have a long way to go. But honestly, my favorites, we got to take us back to the first 5. My favorites are still the Joe Phillips Prowler and the Therese Nielsen Rhino. Those cards are fucking awesome. And that's from the first 5. So maybe the final 5 didn't live up to the first 5. And also, whoever Nocturne is, she can get it. We'll say that. She's like the... she can get it just like the chick on the cover of Sugar Ray's Lemonade and fucking Brownies. That's the name of the album. Anyway. AfroX says, 8 years on YouTube last Friday. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Good to hear, bro. Keep going. Keep rocking. But anyway, that has been your 5. All right, and that's the show. We had a great show tonight, man. Great show and tell. Top 5 movies of 2019. That was fun. Image in the 90s. Y'all, trust me. We're one more episode. We're through Youngblood. Then we're going to do Shadowhawk, and we're going to get back to some Wolverine shit, okay? We talked about The Thing. Next John Carpenter movie to talk about next week is Christine. So do your homework. Read Youngblood number 10 and watch Christine. We'll have the DC sneak peek, all that jazz and more. We really do appreciate it, y'all. We lost a legend today. We lost a legend. And we didn't have to. Reach out to your friends. Make sure they're not isolated. And reach out to your friends and make sure you're not isolated. Please. We're about to dip out. Join us tomorrow night for PCP Movie Night when we talk about The Godfather Part 2, part of our journey through the Godfather series, and then Blood Rage on Dylan's Horror Show. I hope everybody has a great week. Hope everybody has a great, happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you tomorrow night for Godfather 2. We'll see you for the weekly comic book review and all that jazz. But we love you. You're not alone. I'm here for you. If y'all ever need anything, y'all holler. Now let's look at our goals. 82 likes, 18 more, we would have hit that goal. Excuse me. And we didn't get the super chat either, but it's okay. All the support we need is a like, a share, and a subscribe. Thank you all for joining us here tonight. We're dipping out, but on behalf of everybody here at Rockin Robbie Live, station, pop, pop, boom, thanks for rocking with us. And reach out. And remember, above all, you're not alone.
Hey there, everybody. Come join us here at The Experience this Monday, November 21st at 6 p.m. Eastern, our usual time. We're going to have all your favorites, commission cover art, virgin covers, and we're also going to have a giveaway, so you really don't want to miss that. The whole gang will be here. Me, Rex, John, Robbie. Nick will probably show up at some point. But it's going to be a great time. Remember, November 21st, 6 p.m., only on The Experience. See you then.
All right, we got a taste test to do. So these are all Christmas flavors. And yes, I know it's not even Thanksgiving yet, but we're already into the Christmas fucking season. So it's just the way it is. But we got these new Kit Kats. These are gingerbread men flavored Kit Kats. They're so tiny. I brought two just in case I like them. It seems like gingerbread cookie would be a really good Kit Kat flavor. Now, the Halloween flavor was marshmallow, and it was fine. It was better than the pumpkin pie one they did. I'll tell you that. So we're going to open this up. Gingerbread seems like it would really work for a Kit Kat. It smells like pancake syrup. It smells like IHOP pancakes with syrup. Part of pumpkin pie is spice. That spicy, nutmeggy type thing, right? It didn't work last year with the pumpkin pie Kit Kats. It works for these gingerbread cake. This is really good. It captures the taste. At first, it comes across like, oh, this feels like it's going to be like the pumpkin pie one, but it's not. Because the flavor grows. That's a mighty fine Kit Kat. Five you digs. That shit's dope. That shit's so fucking dope, y'all. Damn. That's really good. Five you digs. I'll be sharing some with my employees tomorrow at the comic shop in the morning. Where are the fucking buttons? What's going on here? We still got time to hit 15 likes. Come on, y'all.
Never break, never fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss, that's fact, take a big sweet bitch, hand me the back, put me in the ring, go out in the back, cause I sing what I mean, and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took a red pill, I know life's short, so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel?
How's it supposed to feel, everybody? Come on, PCP Army. 15 more likes or $10 in super chats. We have a little bit more fun.
How's it supposed to feel?
Yo, we about to get hype right here, though. They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that fact. I don't feel no shame. It's a mood you lack, I go crazy. Nah, bitch, I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right, I fuel's gonna be hazy. About to unpack all the shit I've been chasing. I got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I feel the seeds as I spread with every word that I said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? All right, so now we're going to taste test this new Mountain Dew. What the fuck just happened to my voice? We're going to taste test this new Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew Fruit Quake. This is a fruit cake flavored Mountain Dew. Mike, the voice Matthews, hooked me up with this. And he said he thought it sucked. I've seen other people say, because I mentioned that I was going to do this, other people's like, oh, it's just a fruit punch Mountain Dew. Mike says it includes that spice kind of thing. Let's see. Smells like fruit punch. Smells good. Smells good. Let's see. That's interesting. So it's like a fruit punch Mountain Dew, but it does have spice. And when I say spice, I don't mean like the flaming hot Mountain Dew, which sucked, but like it has got like a, I don't know, it's got like a gingery kind of vibe to it. That I don't find offensive. I actually rather like this. I think it's fine. Is it as nuanced of a flavor as I thought they would, as I thought they were thinking they were going to make? I don't think so. I'll tell you this though. For a fruitcake flavored Mountain Dew, it's pretty goddamn good, and it almost makes me want to be like, let's eat some fruitcake. I don't think I've ever had fruitcake. Everybody always talks about it. I see it at the shop. I've never had it. This year, we're doing a fruitcake fucking taste test. This is pretty good. That's not bad. Holy shit, I give that like 4.369 digs. I give it 4 digs. 4. Let's not get too crazy, Robbie. Let's not get too crazy. I give it 4 digs. See y'all next time, y'all. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Rockin Robbie Live, tomorrow night, PCB Movie Night, The Godfather Part 2, Dylan's Horror Show, Blood Rage on Saturday, and then join us next week for Rockin Robbie Live. We're going to have some fun. All right. Pretty dope. Station, thanks for rocking with us. Pop, pop. Boom!